Hi there y'all, the goddamn Microsoft Sam here once again, with Mike, Mary, and Scotty in the fray. And this time, we're all going to be doing something completely different.
That's right. We are not going to be playing a game like always, but rather, we are going to be ranking something that's familiar to the eyes of many players.
Oh yeah. I like the sound of rankings, and also we know what we've been training for to know what these are.
That's right. These are going to be the Minecraft armor trims that we'll be ranking, whether it be an S, A, B, C, D, or even F tier.
We'll be ranking the trims in alphabetical order in relation to the names of those aforementioned trims. Not only that, but we'll consider many assets with those trims, whether they be in designs, rarity, how they can be obtained, the structures they are in, you name it. It'll also be in Minecraft, Johnny Edition, since that's the version we're absolutely most accustomed to.
But let us be clear, before we start. Each of us have very different opinions about them, just as much as others do. But it is everyone's responsibility to respect those opinions and genuinely act like they do, mean it, and practice the respect.
Yeah. Mike and I do some practicing of that in normal circumstances, but I do have a bad feeling about Sam and Scotty though.
Oh, shut the fuck up and make out with your arachnophilic shitheads of friends, you Neanderthal-like piece of shit.
I call making the tier list, since it was my idea to do so and I know best about the experience of it.
Can you name one attribute other than fucking experience?
Oh fuck off, Miss Feminist Chicken Legger.
Exactly. And that weak, grade school insult makes me want to take the helm for it first, since I'm more qualified for lists anyway, apart from being more organized than you. But I'll let you do it, since you called for it first.
First tips with making it bitch. Anyways, it's about time we make this tier list. And like I said before, we'll be doing this alphabetically.
No problem with that there, Sam. Now can you please get on with it?
Okay, fine. Again. First off, I'd like to focus on the armor trim for Coast. I like the pattern, where it goes down by an inch and then back up. It even goes like that for a lot of the armor pieces. Quite the linear design, if I do say so myself, though by default, it has a 16.7% chance of being found in shipwrecks. While I do like it, it somehow has its quirks, where it has some of the trimming lines with whatever ingredient you choose not colored too much when compared to the base color of armor. As such, I could give this one a B tier considering the rarity.
While I do say it's somewhat common with the rarity, I like the design. And so what, if the lines don't overtake the base color? At least they make great patterning. It's like many people have to say, quality over quantity. So I think it deserves an A tier at the very least.
Yeah, I'm with Mike there. Besides, any color can contrast, you just need the right combination in relation to the armor and trimming ingredient you pick.
Yeah, although the rarity isn't absolutely the best. But it's balanced nonetheless. Which is what I like.
Alright then, the A tier it is. Now then, next up, we have the Dune trim. In terms of its design, it has slightly more of a trim color pattern, which is not bad, but not that great at the same time, in my opinion. There's also a 14.3% chance that it gets found in desert temple chests, which makes it pretty rare in that aspect.
Oh yeah, there's a lot more of the pattern coloring there, alongside more rarity, which makes it all the more special. I like this more than I like the Coast one, so I think this deserves the S tier.
Oh come on. Why the fuck do you have to try to usurp me like that?
I'm not trying to, damn it. It's only my opinion, you see?
Oh yeah? Care to explain what makes it so special?
Fine. For one, the design and rarity like I said. And secondly, it's in one of those structures looking like that structure, where I fucked up on trying to find treasure by falling for an explosion trap. Ever since I went through a near-death experience in that area and got killed in an area close to that helping you and Sam build an XP farm, I learned from some of those mistakes. In fact, I learned from everything we screwed up on, as we went on.
Oh. I remember having experienced that second memory you told me. But what the fuck does that have to do with a goddamn design and rarity?
Yeah, I agree with Scotty on that one. Memories don't back up any shit as to how special you think that shit is when compared to the rest.
Think whatever the fuck you crybabies want. See if that stops you from being uncultured swines.
So much for the respect of certain opinions.
You shouldn't have expected that to last long, especially when it came to you hypocrites' hollow fucking words.
Because of design and such, as well as Mike's oversaturated opinion of this, I'm placing this trim in the B tier instead, since that's a little too obvious for his memories. If you have any more clashing opinions, fucking fight me.
Oh, why you fucking son of a bitch?
How?
I could fucking watch those toxic tears pour out all day if I wanted to.
Fucking hypocritical, coming from the biggest man-child of this group himself.
Choke on a fucking grapefruit, I dare you.
Sit the fuck down, you corrupt fucking rogue.
Now I can't tell who's the bigger man-child of the bunch, Sam or Scotty.
Obviously Sam, since he treated us all like absolute dog shit for years with his long-term animosity and toxicity.
Oh yeah? Well, I'll make your fucking dune trim F tier, if you don't fuck off.
As much as I want for that to happen again, it's becoming staler and staler every minute. Which means, can we start talking about the next trim already?
Like staler is even a word to begin with, but okay. Next up, we have the eye trim. Its design is pretty good too, with an eye-like pattern in the chest plate. Not as quantitative with the trim color as the previous, but quality over quantity regardless. It is found in strongholds, but with a 10% chance of it being found in altar chests and a complete guarantee of it generating in library chests.
A complete guarantee, you say? Oh fuck yeah, it deserves an S tier, with some of the balance of trim color as well as it being guaranteed to be found in library chests. Hell, I could take 2 if I wanted to.
Again, Ewing, I can't agree on this one so well, but I somewhat take the library thing as a lack of challenge. Either way, whatever goes around comes around, am I right? So, S tier it is.
I ought to say, this would be an accurate assessment on my end, since the eye on the chest plate is symmetrical.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Mary. Now then, next trim, the host trim. Well, how do I say this without sounding dickish? This one's a bit linear, with a slight lack of trim color, though that doesn't make it all bad. What makes it not as popular as some of the rest is that, when you go to a trail ruin structure, you try to brush suspicious gravel away and hope that something good comes out of it. If you end up breaking that gravel, there is a good chance that it would have been that template. An 8.3% chance for that to pop out, to be exact. And by the time you go back home to spend some diamonds on duplicating that along with many other templates, would that have seriously been worth the cost? Think about it and let that sink in for a moment.
Yeah, good question. Would that really have been worth the cost? Well, I guess that depends on the diamonds you have in your house chests or in your inventory.
Yeah, but imagine if you had to use nephrite for that. How would anyone feel by then?
Yeah, you make a good point on that one. But aren't we forgetting that the design isn't that bad when it comes to trim color?
Yeah, that's kind of something to fill the gap and hold it back from being placed as the worst or in the F tier. So, for a good compromise, I'll put it in the C tier, so that it is known how much there is for that trail ruins aspect. Now for the next one yet again, which is the razor trim. It's just like the host trim, being found in trail ruins and having an 8.3% chance of popping out of suspicious gravel, except its design is slightly more spotty on this one. Yeah, that doesn't really work on this. I might as well put it to C tier as well.
If I may object for a moment.
Go ahead, Mary. Nothing's stopping you.
I think you rushed at the design part of the razor trim. True, it's spotty, true, it has the same rarity and structure of finding as the host trim, but shouldn't it be reviewed more thoroughly?
Yeah, we have to do so in a more thorough manner. I said before that the cost of 7 diamonds to duplicate instances of the same template is subjective, depending on how many total diamonds you have overall, right? Think about this for just one moment. There could be multiple of those templates found in the same trail ruins structure, but probably just not in the same suspicious gravel area.
I don't know if that's supposed to change my mind about giving it the C tier.
You don't have to change your mind because of that. We just wanted you to think outside the box before evaluating shit the way you just did. 'Tis all.
Fine, though that should at least prevent this one from getting any lower rankings anyway. Now then, on to the next trim, the rib trim. Good God, just look at this one. Design-wise, this barely has any color of the trim ends. The color is dark whenever there's a trim ingredient used for it, and that doesn't make nether fortresses more interesting to explore, despite the 6.7% chance rarity of it being found in chests there. Take, for instance, me wanting to use redstone or diamond on nephrite armor for it. How dark or bright would that be then? I know it's not meant to please everyone, but that sure as hell doesn't please me at the slightest.
I agree on this one. Not only does it have more in color brightness when it comes to the trimming end of the armor, but also, it's fucking rare. Whenever you find it and you duplicate it for some times, is that worth the pain to just witness poor color throughout armor? If you're using brighter colored armor, then I understand that. But otherwise, there's no point in giving it that much honor.
Though the brighter armor thing is one of its only redeeming qualities, if not the redeeming quality of it, that doesn't detract from the piss poor design flaws this template has, as well as the circumstance there would be if you were to place the diamonds to duplicate a few more templates. F tier for that piece of shit. Linear, dark color, short lineage, you name it. The rarity is basically its only silver lining behind that, even more than the brighter armor stick. Now then, let's get to the next trim, which is the sentry trim. This one has about 4 central dots on the chest plate, alongside some very bright lines on a few sides. That's a good contrast in comparison to the rib trim, though 2 of the templates have a 25% chance of being found inside pillager outpost chests. That's what's the downside of it in terms of rarity, unfortunately, so I may need to give it the C tier.
I honestly think the sentry trim deserves better. How about a B tier or something? That could be good enough because of the contrast and the amount of rarity it takes for that template to be found.
You know what? Fuck it, I may as well give it the B tier, since it's good enough to be obtained 2 instances anyway. Now next up, the Shaper armor trim. Ugh. It's not as linear in comparison to the rib trim, but still, it barely has color from the trimmed ends of the armor. And you know what's even worse than that? It comes from a fucking trail ruin structure, found in suspicious gravel in about 8.3% of a chance as well. It replicates the diamond expense problem the host and razor trims have, where it wouldn't be worth the cost if you were to have the templates duplicated. This time, it goes to a much different plane. Now I don't know which tier to give it, either a G or an F tier.
Why the fuck do you have to be so biased when it comes to design and rarity? At least it's more common for the shaper trims to be used as well as a brighter design.
You know what? I'm giving that an F tier as well, since you're the one who's biased about the rarity aspect.
Fine, but you better not fucking
Shut up, I'm trying to cover the next trim. And this one's my favorite. Here goes.
mother.
The silence trim.
Fucker.
Oh boy, I have so many great aspects to start with, I don't even know where to start. Maybe the design? Fuck it. It has a lot of colorful brightness, it makes the trimming end of the armor totally visible, and best of all, it has a 1.2% chance of being found in ancient cities. This is a hell of a challenge to go through, if you love one to death. But when you do go through that challenge, it's worth the end results. As such, I'm placing this one in the S tier.
More fucking bias. You know damn fucking well that this godforsaken trim has too much trim color. It's too fucking rare to find, and the worst part of it is that it is held in those fucking warden places.
Cope more with your fucking skull issues there, baloney hog. You know it's worth seeing for every second you do.
Clearly, the only thing that'll be worth seeing for you is your inevitable death from one of those wardens by the time you fight them. If anyone else disagrees with me there, then they're fucking wrong and blind. You know what? I'm gonna give this trim the fucking F tier since there's literal bias in such a goddamn trope.
You don't fucking touch my list.
Your list? Excuse me? You mean our list, right?
I meant what the fuck I said, you princess. Now shut the fuck up and let me make my S-tier thing possible.
Goddamn, what an absolute crybaby he is. And Sam, don't you think you were absolutely insensitive as well?
Not my fucking problem. He shouldn't have been talking shit this whole time. So he got what the fuck he deserved. I genuinely question why we're friends with that man-child bologna sandwich addict.
Honestly, you're not innocent either. If both of you think you are, then you're absolutely insane. And I knew I had a bad feeling about the both of you and your sick, twisted minds. Anyway, can we go on to the next trim?
I'm not that fucking insane, but alright, if you say so. Ahem. Next up, we have the snout armor trim. It has some design that looks biggish, but that's what makes it stand out when it comes to all those trims being found in a structure. More importantly, it can also be found in bastions as well as the Nephrite upgrading template, not just the latter. They have an 8.3% chance of being found in any bastion's chests.
If Scotty was here, he would have gotten enjoyment out of that, since that's his favorite. Once he comes down, Mary and I will let him know of that.
To fucking Batty's con now, just as deserved. If he thinks he's gonna con me into reconsidering my ranking for the silence trim, then tough shit. And just for his favoritism on that snout trim, I'm giving that shit an F tier to give him a big fucking middle finger. Especially since the design fucking sucks horribly and it's way worse than the rib armor trim.
Wow, just wow. I know Scotty's a fucking crybaby and all, but you can't resist being just as petty in general, can you?
It's the goddamn Microsoft Sam's list, and he has his right to make any ranking necessary, as seen fit.
Stop speaking in third person, you know, that shit is flat out cringe.
Stop talking like a horse on complete crack every day then, fucking estrogen-riddled, feminist pandering, iron-loving, low-energy hypocrite. If you fucking dare object to this one, I'm gonna make an iron golem of Emery and her malformed mix of fat and muscle.
If you fucking dare do that, I will fucking knock you into next century.
God damn it. Can we get on with the fucking next armor trim, before I lose my mind over this free-for-all?
I was about to do that, but okay, the ever-loving fuck then. Next up, we have the spire trim. This one is unique in its own way too, especially with the structure you can find in it. It has a 6.7% chance of being found in an end city chest. I like how it is the only trim that can be found in the end as well, and even the design where the sleeves of the chest plate and the tops of the boots have the checkerboard-like pattern and the lines everywhere else, going in different directions. I give this one a solid A tier, since the rarity in it doesn't compare to that of the silence trim.
You know Spire is my favorite one, right? But either way, I'll accept that, since at least it's a good armor trim unlike the rib one, which is objectively what we could agree is the worst.
I still say snout is the worst, but okay then. Oh, before we drag this on, I'll drag us over to the Tide armor trim. This one is likewise unique in a way that it comes from a mod and not a chest. When you explore an ocean monument and kill an elder guardian, it has a solid 20% chance of dropping one, and that can't be amplified by a swords loading enchantment either. I also like how the design regurgitates the one from prismarine bricks and then places it there. In case you didn't know this, that was slight sarcasm.
As if you know shit about using that in a clever manner, Sam.
You want sarcasm? Here's this. Everybody takes a shot every time your low energy ass decides to fucking humiliate me. And the challenge is to rake in as many laughs as possible from those shots.
Clearly, the only laughs you'll be raking in are from fan breaths who don't know better than to worship your stupid and hypocritical ass for your tyrannical fucking actions. Not to mention you white sully Ordmer off the face of the earth too and swept the planet into nuclear warfare.
Can you shut the fuck up about that? I didn't do shit to them.
Man, you can't conceal the truth, Sam. Well, it was really meant to piss you off.
You're so fucking dead to me. I swear to the goddamn reaches of hell. Ahem. Anyway, before we get the next armor trim coming up in the bag, I need to rate this tied armor trim, which by the way gets a me for regurgitating the design for prismarine bricks. Now then, we got the Vex armor trim. It has a straight line coming down every piece of armor, and that design is kind of too simplistic for my liking, to be honest. Not to mention that, when you go into a woodland mansion, it has a 50% chance of being found in one chest. Too common and unbalanced, if you ask me, but I'll let others do what they want for it. Oh, of course, does the design and rarity make the Vex trim the worst? No, it doesn't, because at least it has a good deal of trim color according to the simplistic design, so maybe the guys did redeem that design at least slightly more than they did for the rib armor trim. So, out of those regards, I'm giving it the D tier.
First of all, for the tied armor trim, it deserves more of a rating in my opinion than you gave it, right? And secondly, yeah, I can see why it seems as though people weren't trying as hard on the Vex one. But if you want my criticism on this one, Sam, it shouldn't matter whether the tied trim regurgitates the prismarine bricks design or not. I like the design, and of course you're focusing too much on the chest plate there, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and besides, some of the other armor pieces have a similar symbol, but with a different size and angle. So in my opinion, Sam, you should give the tied armor trim an A tier.
You know what, you're right about that. Natural Sam would scold me if I didn't place it any higher anyway, considering that's his own favorite. So, let me do the honors and place the tied trim to A tier. Now that that's settled, let's take a dive at the Ward armor trim. Like the Silence armor trim, this one is found at an ancient city, but it's found with a 5% chance in a chest rather than one. That makes it less of a challenge honestly, but as for the design, that knob-like spot on the chest plate kind of kills the enjoyment of the design in a way, but for the lines and everything else, I could consider them not half bad in any way, shape or form. So as such, I'm giving it a B tier just because.
Yeah, the Ward trim is kind of mediocre in my honest opinion, so I'm right there with you.
Do you two share the same CPU item now?
Didn't you and I do the same about a few minutes ago?
Oh fuck, you're right. Though I did chime in and state my opinion about the tied trim. Though for the Ward trim, I feel like, since both that and the Silence trim can be found in ancient cities, both of them would be in a contest as to which one would be found more frequently. The Ward would win. But also the Silence would win at the challenge aspect, so really, both of them are at a tie. But anyway, let's let Sam go to the next one, before we lose touch of the topic.
Yeah, I swear, you fucking windbags go off topic every few seconds more often than I do, and I hate it. Anyway, let's move on to the next armor trim, which is the Wayfinder trim. The design for that is pretty straightforward, where there are wiggly lines for about all the pieces of armor you could find. That, however, gives the trim a saving grace compared to some of the others that could be found in trail ruins with an 8.3% chance being in suspicious gravel. It even has a decent color padding for the trim lines, which gives this trim design a more likable reputation. As such, I'm giving this one an A tier for how much it stands out.
While I don't appreciate you calling us windbags earlier, I do kind of say that the trim itself is good, but not really the best. In my opinion, it's average by its design, so I would put that in the B tier at best, if it was up to me.
Fair enough, but anyways, here we are at the 16th and final trim. It's the Wild trim. I hate to say this on a sour note, but the design itself is mediocre. The lines only stick to some of the ends of the armor, and that's something I'm not a big fan of. If that's not bad enough, it's pretty common too. Two of them have a 33.3% chance of being found in a jungle temple's chest, which doesn't make the temple itself more interesting to explore. If I'm being brutally honest, it just gives me reason to not want to waste my diamonds on duplicating any of those templates. I feel as if the people behind that trim wanted to say, okay, the thing for this is good enough, let's make two of them spawn in a chest somewhere, and chose this structure among all others, proceeding to go from there. I apologize, if I'm being harsh about it, but those are just my feelings on jungle temples in general. So I'm ranking this in a D tier.
Remember, when we went to that one jungle temple to get the super crystal along with other treasures? Well, I disagree with that notion you said, because, if the trims were there, I'd basically say it was interesting regardless. But based on the design, I agree it looks piss poor, though rarity-wise, it would have made that particular temple more interesting to explore and loot.
Personally, I wish I was there to see that. But of course too bad I wasn't. So I snooze, I lose.
Don't worry, you'll get more chances later. But anyways, that's about it for the armor trims, as well as the tier list for them. And that ends this video too. So guys, be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more in the future if you haven't done so. This is Microsoft Sam, signing off.
Along with Microsoft Mike.
And Microsoft Mary. Goodbye, everyone.
Hey guys, sorry for earlier. What did I miss?